Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're just going to be looking at its valuation against other assets like gold, the SP500, and Ethereum. So if you guys like the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you join. Also, check out the Telegram channel here, and you can find a link to it in the description below. And then finally, check out my website if you want access to exclusive content. So let's go ahead and jump in. So one of the things I often get asked about is, whether or not it makes sense to plot Bitcoin versus other assets, because, one of the things that people say is, well, why don't you take into account inflation? And maybe I should. But one of the other questions is, well, can't you plot it against another asset like gold or like, the SP 500? And I'll show you why I don't typically do that. So the first graph we have here is just the price of Bitcoin versus the US dollar. We're all familiar with this one. It's nothing special. We've seen it 1,000 times. But what if we look at it, say, against gold? Well, one of the things you notice is that these qualitatively look very similar to one another. You can see we have a peak here, we kind of come back down and then move back up. It doesn't really change a whole lot. And the reason is because when you have an asset like Bitcoin going up, 100,000x or more over a decade, then comparing it to an asset that's basically just kind of moving in between, or it's range bound in a sense, it's a rounding error. And the only thing that changes is just the absolute value, the reference point. But the trend is more or less the same. If you were to have, say, an asset where the price were changing that significantly in a sense with respect to Bitcoin, then the trend would look different. But because the move that Bitcoin has seen over the last decade has been so powerful that it dwarfs what gold has seen. So in terms of looking at, say, digital gold versus, physical gold, Bitcoin has outperformed it so well over the last decade that the ROI that you may have seen with gold is nothing more than just, say, a rounding error. So this is the point. So here it is for gold. Well, what if we were to look at another asset like the S&P? The S&P 500 has been in a bull run for the last decade, for the most part. Obviously we've had this, the pandemic, but for the most part, it's been in a bull run. And it's interesting because despite that, it really hasn't changed a whole lot. Of course, you see it's slightly different in this region. The Bitcoin valuation is lower over here than it is with respect to gold because the S&P was doing so well. So you're dividing it by a larger number in a sense. So you're going to have less of it. But what's interesting is that more or less qualitatively it looks the same. So it's not that it's necessarily completely ridiculous to plot it against these other assets. It's just that when you're looking at the overall trend, it doesn't really change a whole lot. If you plot it with respect to Ethereum, now normally we look at Ethereum, the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin. This one is just showing Bitcoin to Ethereum for consistency purposes. In this instance, you can actually see that it went down. And the reason is because from 2015 to 2018, Ethereum did quite well. $1,000 investment into Ethereum in late 2015 would have, I think, given you about 1.5 million in early 2018. So that's why so many people, if you're not involved in crypto yourself, that's why a lot of people are so interested in crypto, because the markets are super volatile. They're really volatile on the way up and very hard to live through on the way down. So it's all about timing. Now, as we proceed with this channel, I want to alert you to the fact that we will focus mainly on cryptocurrency, but going forward, we're also going to start including other videos on other asset classes like, Tesla, other, stocks, equities, probably some real estate, special, precious metals, commodities. We've already done some of this because we've looked at oil before, we've looked at Tesla before. We're going to expand the channel out. And the reason is because, it's good to learn about other asset classes and just not only look at crypto, because, if you're only invested in crypto and your net worth is in crypto, if Bitcoin goes down 50% in one day, you don't want your entire net worth going down by that much in one day. That's not smart. I mean, this isn't financial advice, but it just seems silly to me. But if your goal is to diversify out of crypto at the end of, say, the next bull run, then you really should start learning about other asset classes now so that you can take advantage of that. You don't want to be sitting with your money in the crypto markets when we're going through a brutal bear market like we did in 2014 and 2018. During this time, you want to be knowledgeable of other asset classes, and so that's why we're going to continue to cover that on this channel. So if you guys like that idea, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, because I do want to keep this channel really educational and informative so that you guys can learn trends not only in the crypto markets but also other markets as a whole. Now, on a more serious note, I did make I showed a picture of someone a while ago. It was a bear, so a Bitcoin bear, saying that we're going to see $1,000 Bitcoin before it goes up to 100,000, and I really disagree. And I told you I saw one of these bears. Here they were. This was in 2023. I took this picture. It was this guy. He was waiting for $1,000 Bitcoin, but it never happened. And this is what he looked like. But I felt bad for him, and I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we could get to $1,000 Bitcoin again. I was trying to think of ways that could happen, and it dawned on me that we're living in the cryptoverse, right? So what's the way you get there? Well, the price of Bitcoin just needs to enter a black hole. If that were to happen, it could spit us out somewhere back in time, and maybe we ride this momentum down and just touch that $1,000 Bitcoin mark. So if you don't believe me that this could happen, I've conveniently added black hole thermodynamics equations here for you that validate my price prediction, and I don't really think you could argue with that. And I would like to see you maybe try in the comment section below, but I guess good luck. It's really just simply based on quantum physics, so as long as this trend holds, we drop into a black hole, it could spit us out at, say, $1,000 Bitcoin. So I would say take that into consideration. Don't completely discount these guys because you really never know what might happen. On the off chance that we do drop into a black hole, you need to be prepared because you might fall into another universe. Remember, we live in a multiverse, so it's possible, a multiverse of finance. It's possible if you fall into one, you might wake up in the Teslaverse or the equityverse. So just be prepared for that. If you do find yourself viewing a video that is based on another asset class, hopefully you can learn something from it, even if it's not your cup of tea. But I do think it's important that you at least learn these trends, because one day I think it's going to make sense when we're no longer in the accumulation phase of crypto. I think it's going to make sense to diversify if you're not already diversified, and to take advantage of the patience that you had during this market cycle. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please subscribe. We'd love to have you join. Remember to check out the Telegram channel in the description below. Maybe I'll post this chart in the Telegram channel. Obviously, it's I don't want too many people getting their hands on it because I think it's super informative. But also, if you want, check out intothecryptoverse.com. It's the premium list. We have access to a lot of more information that you won't find on the public channel. So be sure to check that out. You'll get a weekly video, a weekly newsletter, and access to a dashboard with live risk metrics for different assets, including the SP 500. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.